This sign means A. Reserved parking for persons with disabilities. B. Slow-moving vehicle. C. No U-turn. A. Reserved parking for persons with disabilities. This sign indicates parking spaces that are reserved for vehicles displaying persons with disabilities license plates, disabled veteran license plates, and/or disabled parking placards. What does this road sign indicate? A. Directions for children. B. School zone ahead. C. Playground area ahead. B. School zone ahead. Pentagonal signs indicate that you are in or are approaching a school zone and/or school crossing. Be aware of children when driving near a school zone and follow posted speed limits. You must yield the right of way to an emergency vehicle that is using its siren and flashing lights by A. Driving as closely to the right edge of the road as possible and stopping. B. Moving into the right lane and driving slowly until it has passed. C. Stopping immediately, even if you are within an intersection. A. Driving as closely to the right edge of the road as possible and stopping. You must yield the right of way to any emergency vehicle that is using its siren and flashing lights. Do this by driving to the right edge of the road and stopping, taking care not to stop in an intersection. You may move again after the emergency vehicle has passed. When you see this road sign, you should A. Keep right. B. Keep left. C. Pass with caution. A. Keep right. Warning signs are usually yellow with black markings. This sign indicates that a divided highway is beginning and cars should keep to the right.
Want to ace your DMV test? Click on the link below and get your guaranteed cheat sheet.
Increase your following distance when driving behind a large vehicle. A. To better see around the sides of the vehicle. B. Because other drivers tend to pull behind large vehicles before trying to pass them. C. Because following too closely will get you caught in the vehicle's slipstream. A. To better see around the sides of the vehicle. Drivers of trucks, buses, vans, and any vehicles pulling campers or trailers may not be able to see you if you are driving directly behind them. Increase your following distance when driving behind one of these vehicles. Additionally, large vehicles can block your view of the road, so increase your following distance to look around the sides of the vehicle and see the road ahead. To help avoid skidding on slippery surfaces, you should A. Shift to a lower gear after starting down a steep hill. B. Speed up to enter curves and slow down to exit them. C. Slow down before entering curves and intersections. C. Slow down before entering curves and intersections. Slow down before you enter a curve because you do not know what may be ahead. Braking on a curve may cause you to skid. You should drive on the shoulder to pass a car. A. If the vehicle ahead of you is turning left. B. Under no circumstances. C. If the shoulder is wide enough. B. Under no circumstances. Passing on the right is permissible only if it is possible to do so without driving off the roadway. Never pass another vehicle on the shoulder because the other driver will not expect you to be there and may pull off the road. A broken yellow centerline means that A. Passing is not permitted. B. Passing on the right is permitted when the way ahead is clear. C. Passing on the left is permitted when the way ahead is clear. C. Passing on the left is permitted when the way ahead is clear. A broken yellow centerline means that a driver may cross the centerline to pass another vehicle on the left as long as there is no oncoming traffic. Drivers should never cross a solid yellow centerline in order to pass. When driving under low visibility conditions due to fog, you should A. Turn on your high beam headlights. B. Slow down and use your low beam headlights. C. Increase your speed so you do not cause an accident. B. Slow down and use your low beam headlights. When driving in fog, you should slow down and use your low beam lights. If the fog is so dense that you cannot see, pull off the road and wait for the fog to clear. Which of the following substances can affect the ability to drive? A. Tranquilizers, marijuana, and sedatives. B. Cough syrups and cold tablets containing codeine or antihistamines. C. All of the above. C. All of the above. A number of drugs can impair your ability to drive, including depressant medications like tranquilizers and sedatives, over-the-counter cough syrups, cold tablets, and allergy medications, which may contain impairing substances like alcohol, codeine, or antihistamines, and illegal drugs. When driving in work zones, you should A. Follow the driver in front of you closely. B. Pass the driver in front of you as soon as you can. C. Avoid tailgating and keep a safe following distance. C. Avoid tailgating and keep a safe following distance. When driving in a work zone, keep a safe distance between your vehicle and traffic barriers, trucks, construction equipment, workers, and other vehicles. Increase your following distance and do not tailgate. When passing a row of parked vehicles, you should A. Be prepared for a person or vehicle to unexpectedly enter your lane. B. Expect all other drivers and pedestrians to respect your right-of-way. C. Drive closely to the parked vehicles to allow more room for moving traffic. A. Be prepared for a person or vehicle to unexpectedly enter your lane. Keep a space between your vehicle and parked vehicles. A person may step out of a parked vehicle or out from between the parked vehicles without looking. A driver may begin moving their vehicle before realizing you are there. If you are not the first to arrive at the scene of an accident and your help is not needed, what should you do? A. Slow down to calm your nerves. B. Stop and look for your own curiosity. C. Drive on and not interfere with procedures. This sign tells you that A. No turns are allowed on the road. B. The road narrows ahead. C. There is a series of curves ahead. C. There is a series of curves ahead. Warning signs are usually yellow with black markings. They alert you to conditions that are immediately ahead. This sign warns drivers about an upcoming winding road. This sign means A. One-way traffic. B. Intersection ahead. C. Merging traffic from the right. C. Merging traffic from the right. Warning signs are usually yellow with black markings. They alert you to conditions that are immediately ahead. This sign tells drivers to prepare to allow traffic to safely merge from the right. This sign is used to warn drivers that A. The right lane is ending and traffic should merge left. B. The road curves ahead. C. There are upcoming intersections. A. The right lane is ending and traffic should merge left. Warning signs are usually yellow with black markings. They alert you to conditions that are immediately ahead. This sign warns drivers that the number of lanes is reduced ahead and that traffic should merge left. Which of the following statements about blind spots is true? A. Blind spots are eliminated if you have one outside mirror. B. Large trucks have bigger blind spots than most passenger vehicles. C. Blind spots can be checked by looking in your rearview mirror. B. Large trucks have bigger blind spots than most passenger vehicles. Even if a vehicle is properly equipped with rear-view and outside mirrors, it still has blind spots that cannot be seen in the mirrors. Large trucks have much larger blind spots than most passenger vehicles. It is very foggy. You should slow down and A. Turn on your emergency flashers. B. Turn your lights to their high beam setting. C. Turn your lights to their low beam setting. C. Turn your lights to their low beam setting. Use your low beams when driving in fog, snow, rain, or mist. Light from high beams will reflect off of precipitation, causing a glare and making it even more difficult to see. Some vehicles are equipped with fog lights that should be used in addition to low beam headlights. You are merging onto an interstate highway. You should A. Select a safe gap and merge into the lane of traffic. B. Merge across two lanes at once. C. Always stop before entering the highway. A. Select a safe gap and merge into the lane of traffic. Anytime you want to merge with other drivers, you need to find a gap large enough for you to safely enter into the flow of traffic. You should not stop on the entrance ramp to an interstate highway unless there are no gaps into which you may safely merge. If you see a sign over your lane that has an arrow with the word "only" below it, you should A. Travel in the direction of the arrow. B. Always make a lane change. C. Look for a destination sign to follow. A. Travel in the direction of the arrow. This is an example of a lane control sign. It indicates that you must move in the direction indicated by the arrow, in this case, to the left. Slow-moving vehicles are required to turn or safely and legally pull off the roadway when there are. Fill in the blank. Vehicles in line behind them. A. At least 4. B. 5 or more. C. 8 or more. B. 5 or more. When driving a slow-moving vehicle, you must turn or pull off the roadway if 5 or more vehicles are lined up behind you. Merge safely back onto the roadway once the other vehicles have passed. A diamond-shaped sign means A. Yield. B. Stop. C. Warning. C. Warning. Diamond-shaped signs are used to warn drivers of special conditions or hazards ahead. They are typically yellow or orange in color. This road sign means A. Highway entrance ramp. B. Road widens. C. Right lane ends. C. Right lane ends. Warning signs provide notice to road users of a situation that might not be readily apparent and are usually yellow with black markings. This sign alerts drivers to the right lane ending and tells them to prepare for potential merging traffic. What does this road sign mean? A. Winding road. B. Loose gravel. C. Slippery when wet. C. Slippery when wet. This sign indicates that the road may be slippery when wet. Exercise caution when driving on a slippery road. If you have an argument with another person and you are angry, you should A. Loudly play the radio while driving so you won't think about your argument. B. Take a few minutes to cool off before driving. C. Drive on the interstate to let off steam. B. Take a few minutes to cool off before driving. Your emotions affect your ability to drive safely. If you are overly angry, excited, afraid, worried, or depressed, you should give yourself time to calm down before operating a vehicle. You need to be able to mentally focus on driving without thinking about the things that made you upset. Extra space in front of a large truck is needed for A. Other drivers to merge onto the freeway. B. The truck driver to stop the vehicle. C. Other drivers when they want to slow down. Unless otherwise posted, the speed limit on primary and secondary state and federal highways is A. 55 miles per hour. B. 45 miles per hour. C. 65 miles per hour. A. 55 miles per hour. Unless otherwise posted, the speed limit on primary and secondary state and federal highways in Tennessee is 55 miles per hour. The implied consent law means that A. If asked, you will take a test to determine the alcohol or drug content of your blood. B. Traffic laws apply at an intersection, even without any signs, markings, or signals present. C. If asked, you don't have to agree to a test to determine the alcohol or drug content of your blood. A. If asked, you will take a test to determine the alcohol or drug content of your blood. The implied consent law means that, by driving a vehicle in Tennessee, you give your consent to be tested to determine the drug or alcohol content of your blood. When approaching an intersection controlled by a flashing yellow light, you must A. Come to a complete stop at the intersection. B. Maintain your normal speed. C. Slow down and proceed with caution. C. Slow down and proceed with caution. A traffic signal displaying a flashing yellow light indicates that you should be alert and proceed with caution. Slow down when approaching a flashing yellow traffic signal. Remove all snow, frost, and ice from A. Just the windshield. B. All windows. C. Just the windshield and passenger window. B. All windows. It is important that you are able to see clearly through all of your vehicle's windows, including the windshield. Remove all snow, ice, and frost from your vehicle's windows and mirrors before you start to drive.